movimentação em direção ao ponto B. O Kalil tá esperto, bom tapa. Tem mais um, Kalil, tem mais um, Kalil. Excelente trabalho, Kalil aparece de novo.
Double dash going to be used here, but a sideline glide man. This guy is on fire right now.
Elizabeth here with Potter, the coach of Evil Geniuses. A very, they said, convincing map from you guys. I had to ask you about the Brim Omen, and not a comp we see too often. You might see a Viper thrown in there. Talk to me about that comp.
Well, it was kind of painful taking Superman off Viper because he's so good on that agent. But with the Viper nerfs and everything, we started tinkering around. And, while Jaw was having fun, I wanted Superman to also have fun. So he's an insane Omen. And it just opens up a lot of the rounds for us, and we can be really creative with it.
Well, clearly, best of luck. I'm up too.
Well, we saw Superman really have some fun on that first map, a 13-5 win over Furia to go up in this series. But besides just his skills and individual performance on that Omen, we saw a lot of really creative stuff from those one-ways from this 100%. Guy. I'm Mimi, back with Ender again, and I want you to show me some of these one-ways.
Yeah, and I think the first one I want to talk about is how he used those one-way smokes on the teleporters to make it impossible for the enemy team, for Furia, to run TP crunches. And he used them on both TPs, whichever side of the map they were looking to scale up. I'm going to show you the one on showers because they're both the same. It's very easy. You've got the green dot popping up into the... Oh, and I just ran forward. I'm a complete noob. Ignore me.
You'll hit it this time.
I embarrassed myself, but that's okay. The one-way comes in just like that.
And that works on both those teleporters. And if we can look at my POV here, if I'm a player towards long, you'll often see teams going for these kind of crunches over towards that teleporter. So if I go through here, I'm going to TP, and I have no idea that this one-way is up until I commit. If I'm trying to run through, I'm blocked off from all these angles, and it's an almost guaranteed kill for this player close.
It also just gives so much time for players that have moved into showers or on that one-way outside of sand to turn and react to that TP coming behind. And we saw EG have a lot of great rounds, but they were also using these smokes when they were playing slower rounds and sort of defaulting, especially over here into showers where this one-way pops down and all of a sudden no one can swing in and fight you here. This orb is also very easy to secure because you'd have to swing out so far into that one-way.
You see, this is the angle that I'd have to swing to contest the orb carry, and I'm in a big disadvantage from anyone playing deep here who's covering that orb grabber. If I'm going close as well, I'm in trouble. Those are the one-ways they used there. They also had one towards long, back towards defender spawn on B. If you want to try out this Omen, it's great, but you need to make sure you play it with the Brim so you have site exec smokes as well. It was a great start for EG. Let's hear what Furia's coach had to say before we hop into map number 2.
Here with Coach Koi of Furia, a pretty resounding defeat on map 1. Doug was talking on the casting desk. This just feels like a different Furia. So what's the difference between the Furia we saw beat 100 Thieves versus the Furia we saw today?
Então, não teve muita diferença pra gente na parte mental, a gente tá hypado igual, a gente tá com muita vontade ainda. Acho que a questão dentro do jogo foi que a gente deu muito espaço pra eles, é uma coisa que não aconteceu no jogo passado, a gente botou a mira e matou os caras. Nesse jogo agora a gente tá deixando muito retake e não é uma coisa que tá dando muito certo contra eles. Deixou eles plantarem e se organizarem, a gente tá perdendo todos os rounds, e agora na Lotus vai ser diferente.
I think psychologically we're the same, we're still hyped, we still want to win. But in game, we are just giving them a lot of space. Once they plant the spike, that's it. They organize themselves, and the retake is really hard. So we just got to fix that.
All right, well, best luck on map 2.
Welcome back, everyone, as EG manages to pick up the bind win 13-5. Now we set our sights on to Lotus. Of course, Golden Boy back here again with Athena, Mimi, and Ender. And guys, I mean, overall, I think one of the big things you could take away from it is that EG just absolutely controlled the pace of that game. And even when things were going all right for Furia, EG still there, still a problem every time.
Yeah, it looked like every single time they had their game plan ready to go. They had the Brim ults. They had so many of their util ready to take control of all these kind of extremities of the land of bind, and they were not ready to kind of give any space up. And we actually just heard in the interview as well the coach talking about how they felt like they had to give them a lot of their space, and I felt like it was more like the space is being taken away from them.
I think that's true, but I also would have liked to see some more proactive looks at times from this team. We're now heading into Lotus, a map where last time we saw EG picking into that ISO that now has been nerfed. But my big question is do they switch to the Neon? We heard Jaw alluding to it at the beginning of the day. Hey, we might get to see some more ankles broken. I think this is a map where you can one-for-one that agent into the comp, and it is so good.
Yeah, honestly, I think it's like fairly plug and play, right? Like all things considered, I feel like the way the game is heading, you're playing a lot of these comps that are double initiator with the Neon. Even if you haven't played a lot of it on Lotus, like I feel like EG with a week can work that into their system.
Yeah, but now you find yourself.
I got a spoiler.
Oh, you did? Oh. You did now.
We're running around with the zappy fingers.
I just saw another. Yeah, I saw another one.
But we see it from both sides too.
Yeah.
I think it is very quickly going to become a meta, especially on Lotus on Sunset.
Yeah.
I think those are Neon's strongest map, and I would expect Haven as well. I would expect a lot of our teams to be picking this up. It just gives you so many options to rotate on defense for proactive early fights on attack. It's super strong.
I mean, last week we saw EG playing. We saw them on the Icer, and we were hoping so hard to see some sort of Neon going in crazy. You know, like the way the ISO was being played with the Breach, there wasn't that much synergy. And now, if we do see the Neon, I'm going to be so excited because it's like they just stepped up a level from last week.
Now, the counter to that is the Cypher, right? So you have the trips on the ground, which Neon does a really hard time with actually dealing with. But I also think it changes how you actually lurk on the attacking side, especially now when people aren't running Viper comps. You're using that cage to cross. Apoth is no longer a B lurker like he was in stage 1. He's an expert lurking into that A space as both teams fight much more heavily over control of B and C. The Lotus meta is changing a ton, and it's very exciting.
Besides just the early gambits on defense, watch for how these Neons are going to be proactively rotating to help their site anchors. The stun is actually super powerful to hold down sites.
The agents are all locked in, so let's find out if Furia can bounce back. We're going to send it back over to your casters. Once again, it's Doug and Baby Bay.
Thank you so much, Golden Boy. We're going to get to see two Neons go head-to-head, and this was the matchup that we talked about before the series even started. MW against Jawgemo. All of the talks around Jawgemo's Neon are entirely accurate. There's no exaggeration to him whatsoever. The kid's a freak on them. How does MW stand up against that?
It's going to be a tough ask, that's for sure, because Jawgemo is, I mean, he's been a connoisseur of Neon for quite some time, and I stock him as one of the best Neons in the game, hands down. So the head-to-head is going to be hard. It's going to have to be a team effort from the side of Furia, much like how the effort of the win for EG on that last map was a team effort, even though we had stars shine out throughout.
This is Evil Genius's map pick. They're starting off on the defensive side. I do love the combo of the Neon with the Breach. I think it creates so much opportunity to really abuse Neon's utility. She slides and dashes and finger shoots everywhere.
Exactly. You can you can take advantage of fast-paced timings and punish off of it. The unique thing about this comp, this KO Breach comp, we haven't really seen something like this ran with Neon since, what, Fracture?
Yeah, it's
that feels like a lifetime ago.
Oh, Apoth, what are you doing?
He's playing with fire, but there is no utility here to really deal with him. So if there is a full commitment onto C, he's going to have a fast flank. No one from the side of EG here.
The problem is, the only thing that's going to confirm the presence C is going to be the cam that I think just got cleared out. Now the knife is out, the smokes go up, so they should know. I think the only question left to be answered is how does EG approach this? Do they decide to send 4 through spawn and let Apoth do his thing on his own? Seems like that's going to be the case.
Yeah, but Furia might just take the fight to EG here in spawn. Like you were talking about, footsteps being made. Cool thing about Neon is you're able to bait out utility up close, then get out quickly.
MW trying to do exactly that. Stepping around, and it's Jawgemo who draws first blood in that duel. The dink out, but it's not enough as Nasr gets the trade. Not able to settle the shots at 2v2. Nasr and Derek both weak. Havoc. Oh dear, that's a mess. Havoc still has a shot at
this. He just got dunked on Derek from the top ropes.
Oh, that's a brutal way for that to end for Furia.
Oh, it's such a shame. A lot of whiffage going on, but you got to give it to EG for making, I mean, something out of nothing on that retake. There was so much utility they had to invest to try to take out MW Zera there. Still ended up being enough with the trades. I mean, MW Zera did a good job playing up close, baiting out a flash, and then running away, dodging the stun, dodging the Breach C as well. Look at the vibes on that squad right now. That's a force to be reckoned with.
I mean, it's easy for the vibes to be good when you're playing like this.
Getting away with what they just got away with. I mean, Derek was just in the Matrix in that entire last round. 1 HP on the site, jumping over boxes, everything of the sort.
So this is where we see some of what you were referring to in the previous round, Dre, is watching the Neon just have to go and clear or bait out some of the utility, given her mobility. And I think we'll see that with fault lines. We'll see it with flashes, even triggering the trip there. No real way to punish.
Got taken out.
I think the question for Furia is that as they continue to cook through this half and as they lean into this composition on attack is how do you capitalize on that?
Yeah, it's one thing to do something correct, but to execute and actually follow through with it, that's a whole nother story.
No nade. Just a little bit of breach util dumped. Thought the aftershock might come through.
Such good team play right now for EG.
It's just effortless. Again, I mean, as soon as they realize where Furia is coming from, they just pounce. They fully send. They decide that they're going to fight. Oh, that's nice from Khalil, but you know, Jawgemo's waiting on the other side. Now peeking through that smoke. Khalil gets cleaned up. EG get their second. They keep 2 Guardians into the next.
All Derek right there. Jiggling with that tether out. Connects onto 2-3 players, I believe, and then what does he do? Instead of peeking into those players that are, you know, low HP because of that tether, he backs all the way up, enables Jawgemo to go from heaven. Easy pick'ems for him with that Guardian, and then the supporting cast utility coming in from Nature, and Derek there to step back in and take the fights with Jaw. Even though they're not needed, it's there, right? These are the team play, the team fundamentals that Potter instills into this squadron.
It's just such a delicate dance, and they do it so well.
And look at this from the side of Furia, since they don't really have any key information characters like a Fade, Gecko, or a Sova. They have to use 2 flashes to take that C control. So much utility invested, and EG, they're willing to give all of this C once more and just play a retake.
It's a really good point. Derek's 2 away from his ult. Remember, this is the bonus for the defensive side. 2 Guardians and the Vandal in the hit for Jawgemo. They're just waiting for any sort of mistake, and Shandy gives it to him.
Great stun here.
Oh my god, he's going aggressive. This has all the makings of a bonus. They still have 2 rifles standing up. Havoc and Khalil trying to avoid a mess. Again, not able to settle the shots. Khalil's way off the mark. It's another round for EG. A bonus the way of the defense.
I gotta shout for EG right now. These retakes are so clean. They have so much utility to flood in with because Furia, they're having to use all their utility to even just get in on the site. And what's left in the post plant? There's nothing. You have nothing left in the take but just your aim. And what do you do against a Fade that's throwing prowlers at you, tethers to deny any control of water when you try to get aggressive?
And then a Neon stunning you and dashing around all over the place.
Yeah, it's so tough to play against, and it's this game of cat and mouse that you have to use. You know, how do you use your utility to get into the site? That's why the contact style of 4-1s have been so popular in VCT lately, is because you want to have utility on the actual site if no one's there to deal with that retake, to deal with the flood potentially, right?
Jawgemo has his ult on mine. Derek does too. Furia this time, they've invested so much in these last couple of rounds on taking C space, but now have cast their eyes towards A. Paranoia will funnel him out, but Jawgemo will funnel in. 69 HP now.
So much utility used from Furia, just like you said, Duggan. For what?
But yeah, exactly. For what? They haven't really taken any space. They haven't gotten out at all. And these pistols are not enough to stand against the firepower of Evil Geniuses right now.
We're going to have to see an early timeout again for Furia. If they don't do that soon and realize that EG are just holding all of their ammunition, all of their abilities, and just flooding in response. See, this is the timeout that we needed. Here's the replay, though. Ooh, Nature got dinked a little right there, but still connected on the shot. But you see the tit for tat that EG are doing right now. Yeah, throw everything you got at us, fine, because we're going to bring it back once we settle.
Right. And I think the problem is Furia are also trying to tit for tat, but they're not getting the tat back.
No.
I mean, they're investing so much, as we saw, and they're getting nothing for it.
And to be fair, they have to play this way because you're running a KO breach. There is no solid info. You have a dagger, but sometimes the dagger could even be fake info. So yeah, it's just tough to play compositions like this. If they are able to actually creep up into space and maybe use a dagger on the site, it actually connects onto some players. Maybe then we can use way more loads of utility, follow up with the neon and etc. But right now they're just doing it blindly and they're not having anything for the actual fight that EG wants to take. So they need to do a better job of identifying the type of fights that EG want to take and abusing that.
We'll see how the approach changes. Again, Jawgemo saw his results online. Nature one away from his. I mean, EG are just in a really good spot here. Meanwhile, for Furia, they have the Rolling Thunder. You imagine they're going to try to play around that. We've seen them test the water C a lot. This last round, they went towards A. This time, a bit of a different look.
The ultimate's right now for EG. They're going to grab this Fade ultimate, or this Breach ultimate here. And they're willing to give C once more, because you got Breach ult, Fade ult. Jawgemo just killed Furia's lurk.
Yeah, and Havoc, he was trying to play it decently safe. And he was just trying to cage up and get away.
No, this confidence from EG is just too much right now for Furia to handle. They need Khalil to step up huge and sit some of these players down from EG, because if not, it's going to be so hard to play against.
Problem is, that's a big ass. Jawgemo has triggered his ult. They've got the Rolling Thunder to push them back for a little bit more.
But the counter Rolling Thunder right here, it's going to connect on every single member.
And that should let Jawgemo go forward. With fingers out, the root and toot and finger shooting will connect. He gets 2, he gets 4. Unbelievable. Just melts them. And the counter Rolling Thunder, you mentioned it. It was perfect.
Again, the utility game is being won by EG. The individual fight game is being won by EG. Furia are not winning in any capacity right now against this squad. And I don't know if there's much they can really do about it. To be fair, EG are playing a great game, a great series. They've been phenomenal.
Jawgemo's 11-3, man, and he had the ace taken away from him there.
A defensive side Lotus, it's tough. Really tough to play.
Yep. I mean, 5-0.
He goes for more, why not? Another slide.
This is very quickly becoming a Jawgemo frag movie.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen clips of him in ranked doing what he's doing in this match right here.
Do you burn a timeout here if you're Furia?
It's 6-0. It's getting out of control. If you lose the next round, yeah, you have to. You absolutely have to. You have to salvage this half in any way that you can. And this last round, they tried to change the pace. They really tried to push the fight to EG. But again, it's that supporting cast, the supporting utility that's been coming out for the side of EG. That's been a star in enabling Jawgemo to just reign supreme in this neon head-to-head.
It's tough to even call it a head-to-head at this point.
I mean, he's everywhere. Poor Havoc, he's been getting obliterated on the extremities.
Well, MW is trying to get active and do the same, only able to find one. But a little bit of space found on the site. A little. Oh, Jawgemo's human. I didn't think we'd see that. A-pot there on the trade. Keeping it competitive. Nosworth's 5 HP, really can't stand. Even when they're in like a respectable 1v1, 1vx situation like that, it doesn't go their way either.
Yeah, it's a crazy pace being put onto them right now because EG are basically funneling them into spots that they want Furia to be funneled into, and then just setting these traps and these flanks from Jaw. It's just crazy what's going on right now. This is a stomping, to say the least. Something more than that.
Yeah, this is getting ugly very quickly. They've got a rifle in the hands of MW and the stinger for Nosworth. Maybe that can be enough of a spark to get around on the board. Especially, I mean, when you're down this big, sometimes the first round feels like the most difficult. Once you get that off your back, the dam breaks, and all of a sudden, you've got a little bit more that you can play around. But I mean, for Fury here, any victory is a victory. A big one.
I mean, 7 rounds, it already seems like it might be too much to bring it back on a map like this, on a map like Lotus, which is honestly attack dominant.
Yep.
I feel like most of the time.
I do think we have to go back to the conversation we've had around the competition.
Yeah. Yeah, no hard info is...
That's tough.
It's really hard.
On a map like this, too, that's tough.
I get it. It's a new meta. You want to try some new things. You know, people think of Neon, they think of that old Fracture composition that Optic made, you know, so popular. A lot of teams emulated it. That was that KO Breach combo. But if this map just works so differently than Fracture, you don't get the same value.
I'm surprised MW doesn't die there. Caught by the trip, spammed through by Jawgemo. A little bit of a reposition and a stun to buy a little bit of time. Meanwhile, Apop perched over the top. Like a guardian watching. Making sure everything's communicated here with the spam onto one. The spike does finally go down. But Furia might end up doing a bit of the same. Khalil's left alone, 46 HP, no armor, a 1v3. A paranoia, a flash, I mean, the spam. It is such an unwinnable position for Khalil there. And honestly, an unwinnable position for Furia.
Yeah, and right now, there's just fights happening everywhere on the map. There's a solo fight deep spawn, people swinging into an Odin that's just spamming. It's not really coordinated right now for Furia. Maybe a little bit of a tilt match, maybe a throwaway. Honestly, it's what it looks like so far.
Yeah.
And there's that second timeout that is must needed because this squad needs to be taken back to life. They need some type of energy in them. You don't want to get blown out in losses. You want it to at least be competitive so you have footage to look over and understand, okay, we tried our setups, they didn't work. What can we improve on? But right now, they're not even able to get into a post plant correctly. They're not able to take space without blowing 3 sets of utility.
So oftentimes across any game, when you're down this big, you need a spark, right? You need somebody to make a play. You need somebody to reinvigorate the team, to provide a little bit of hope, a little bit of cope, whatever you want to call it. Dre, whose eyes do you go towards on that Furia roster when you go, okay, somebody needs to deliver. Somebody needs to step up here.
It's got to be Khalil or MW Zera. It has to be because, I mean, NZR, he's trying. He's really trying his best. But I feel like when Khalil had that crazy performance he had against 100 Thieves, we saw them go head-to-head against a team that made it so far in Shanghai. And right now, with him being kind of quiet across the board on these last 2 maps, it's just no life, no signs of energy in this team. And I feel like they're tilted.
Down 8-0. EG with a couple of ults. Derek's one away from having his ult online. Meanwhile, there's some on the side of Furia as well. You've got Shanji, who's got his ult. Nazror one away from the Rolling Thunder. Khalil not far off from the Omen ult. And they want to commit to this C. You've got to be careful here if you're Apop. You're the only one here.
No way.
How does Jawgemo get that kill? Spamming through the door, I guess. As soon as it props up, the bullets erupt. It's another disaster for Furia. Oh, no.
No way.
It's a mess. It's such a mess.
EG. Duck, EG are built different. Simply put, they are just different. I mean, they're operating at a level of confidence that's just unseen before. Apop alone anchoring
and anchoring close.
Yeah,
he wasn't playing back spawn with util. He was up close.
He steps into his one way and wraps a player on that bend area on C site when there's no smoke in the main. So he could have gotten shot in the back, but he has no fear. All faith in Jawgemo, who opened that B door, who's fighting A now. I mean, Furia just, they can't seem to do anything against this squad right now, against the way that EG are playing this defensive side. It's so impressive right now.
Well, I think part of the problem, too, is they haven't been able to do anything to demand respect. So, of course, they're going to continue to make plays like that. I mean, why not? Superman's gonna get cleared out here.
Doesn't clear him fully.
No way!
And the supporting utility, the flashes from nature in the back.
I thought he was done. I thought the aftershock hit him and he had nowhere to go, but he stays alive and gets a kill. And again, EG closing the walls in. Khalil trying to kick the damn thing down. And Furia are on the board.
Finally, and who other than NZR and Khalil to really bring that one back? Yeah, Havoc got a little lurk kill in B. But maybe that's the spark needed for Furia. The problem is it's 9-1. 9 rounds on defense Lotus. This is way more than ideal.
And it's those little things. I think oftentimes when you see a team get beat up this badly, it's little mistakes like the aftershock being missed. Letting Superman stay in that position to get his 1 kill. But well done from Furia to settle through that and essentially frag their way out to getting a round on the board. Aggressive take from Super and the paranoia out. Nicely done from Furia to draw that utility and then rotate away.
These are things that Furia fans wish they would have been doing a lot earlier on in this half. Because they were just running their head into a wall for, what, 9 rounds it felt? I mean, none of the rounds were really that close.
No. The second trip gonna tag the duelist. Jawgemo waiting on the other side, a little bit cautious. MW's just there. Very nicely timed. Able to punish, not able to get away with the second though. They've gotten the spike down. Natrez is rolling thunder, and that's going to be enough to pave the way. 1 tagged. I believe Noswor's okay though. Hasn't taken any of it as Khalil. Meanwhile, Apod just sticks it all the way. Not even necessarily concerned about getting the frags.
Again, a player dies in spawn, a player dies in water. We have 3 people on Furia playing out of C site when the bomb is not even planned for them.
EG genuinely looked like they're just having fun right now.
But like the mistakes that Furia are making, Doug, it's fundamentally incorrect. If you have bomb planted into sight, I get maybe wanting to play like in the C choke where people like to smoke and maybe flood in as the retake's coming through. But if it's not planted for you, you can't be playing that far back.
Yeah.
I mean, they just got breach ulted for free.
And look at the aggressive play from Evil Geniuses here. Jawgemo getting another one with the finger guns.
This is unbelievable.
He tucks through. I don't think he realized that Havoc was around him though. Now he spots him. Apop falls.
Enemy remaining.
Oh.
Spike down.
Nice shot.
Couldn't grab the rifle though.
Oh, okay. He doesn't need the rifle.
Disgusting.
Give me a corpse.
Someone give the man a corpse.
Where is everyone?
There it is. Now
hiding?
found a 1v1. Superman spotted now. Spiked is out of reach. A weapon upgraded. A need for a spark. And Havoc delivers. The Red Bull clutch for Furia as they get their second.
Nice round from him. He finessed around his cage right there. Jawgemo had a good idea that he was somewhere lurking in that vicinity, but it wasn't enough. And he came up huge right here because this was looking tragic. What a shot. That's so hard to hit.
Havoc was crispy with it to keep it competitive or kind of competitive. I don't know, 10-2 still the way of EG. But some reason for excitement. Potter sees it. I mean, you can tell that's one that kind of got away from him there. Probably shouldn't have gone that way. But again, a 10-2 the way of EG. We're going to toss it to Liz for an interview with a familiar face on the stage right now. Liz, take it away.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. And that familiar face is Screwface, everyone. You know him, you love him. You've seen him, whether on stream or playing on Challengers right now with Winthrop University, but you used to play with EG as their IGL on the reserve roster. So seeing this stomp, to be clear, are you seeing the shades of EG that you played with last year?
Yeah, I mean, it is 100% the same EG as last year. The players might be different, but a lot of the way that they play has stayed the same, and I think you can attribute that to Christine. And it's been honestly magical watching a couple of my friends like Apoth, I mean, it's so cool seeing some of my friends play on the big stage, bro, and watching them play well as well. It's awesome. You can't replicate it.
Now, you're playing with Winthrop University right now in the North American Challengers League, and you've been pretty transparent that you believe that you guys are not at a level that you want to be at. Coming here and seeing this, is this inspiring? Is this, I'm going to steal that strat?
Yeah. Am I allowed to swear?
No.
Well, I really hate losing, and it has not been the best season. Realistically, we did not have a lot of time going into it for prep, so at the end of the day, it is what it is. But Yeah, I think coming into the VCT stage, seeing the energy, seeing like the lights, seeing everybody, seeing, I mean, look up there, we got Baby Bay fucking casting, seeing these guys going off, like, it's so cool. It's so energizing. It motivates me a lot.
All right. So last question before I send it back to Baby Bay and Doug. You did say a bad word, but it's okay. It's okay.
I can't eat a fine. I'm unpaid right now.
Completely fair. For the people who might not be watching Challengers right now, what would you want to say to them so they can tune in and watch Winthrop, you know, watch TSM, watch your fellow North American Challengers teams? And do not swear.
I will not say a bad word. I'm very sorry for that, Riot Games. Yeah, no, I think you should check out the Tier 2 scene. I think you should check out Challengers. At the end of the day, like the region as a whole is very competitive, both like considering like the LATAM regions as well in Challengers. I mean, the talent comes from somewhere, right? So being able to see the upcoming talent play before they get to the big stage, I think is one, kind of cool because you kind of scout them yourself, and two, like more Valorant can't be a bad thing, right? So yeah, it's pretty good.
Well, speaking of more Valorant, we have a game to get back to, so thank you so much, Screwface. But friends, please take it away.
Thank you so much. Yeah, he definitely let his intrusive thoughts win there, didn't he?
Yeah, he flippin' said that.
I mean, he asked ahead of time, too. That's just tragic. Oh, well.
Hey, it is what it is.
There.
The lad is mad. Oh, my gosh. 78% first blood success rate for Jawgemo.
That's not too shabby. 17-9 on the Neon.
Go, go, go.
It has to be expected, to be honest.
Yeah.
What I'm impressed by is the supporting cast of Nature and Derek, who are also up there and supporting him to get those kills. Triple doubles in their own way.
You imagine EG are going to try to speed run their way through this half as quickly as possible.
Oh, maybe a punish.
Valorant to be played. That's a very nice setup. Off of the fall line, MW takes the space, a little one tap. But Jawgemo showing he can do it the exact same way on his own.
He just got ran down all the way deep into his spawn, man.
No place to save. They're going to try to retake the site here. If the spike got planted, paranoia out, Superman will fall. And they're starting to hold things up for now. 2 HP for Jawgemo, and he will crumble. So Fury get the pistol, they get their third. And we'll see where we go from here.
It's a nice retake from Furia. And pushing the fight onto A, picking off Apoth right there. I think EG made a little bit of a mistake. Once Jawgemo ended up converting that kill onto Havoc and Spawn, maybe you flip sight at that moment because you're worried that your Sentinel is down. But Superman, he got the bomb planted, but he was stuck in such a bad spot. Forced in between, going top side or playing in that elbow where he's gonna get stunned by any type of utility that Furia had. So I think that was really tough and a really good push onto the A main area for Furia. Really good job.
Saw it there on the reaction cam. Still have a couple of reasons to smile. 3 to be exact. And you imagine, barring shenanigans, we'll have a 4th. Got 2 Bulldogs and a Phantom. They've really invested into this here, Dre.
Yeah, if they get ecoed like they did on the last map, this would...
Let's not say that yet.
I mean, you just never know. Somehow EG did it with Classics last time. Now they have some Sheriffs to play with. I don't know.
That goes for Apoth, dude. Havoc's gonna be the first one challenged.
It looks scary.
It does. It looks uncomfortable. You're absolutely right.
Yeah, it doesn't look clean or confident from Furia, who have the gun advantage.
EG slowing things down for just a moment. Not fully sold with wanting to hit C. I imagine here how much of this is them just trying to draw out a mistake from Furia. And honestly, in a lot of ways, we saw that a number of times on the previous half. Letting Furia do these unforced errors and then punishing with it. And honestly, you kind of need that if you're gonna thrifty someone like this.
30 seconds left.
That was not an unforced error. That was just a really clean hit out the other way, but the kill is traded back. Oh, that's one of the rifles down. Superman on the swing. Oh no. Oh no. Now you can say it.
Yep. Yeah, we set it up perfectly. Furia didn't look comfortable. Even though they had gun advantage, they're kind of scared, timid, taking some of these fights when they have the gun advantage. And then the repositioning to play close angles against a breach fade composition, when you have gun advantage, I don't understand what leads us to play here and not play off of our trips and whatnot. Apoth winning gun duels with a ghost.
on his own.
It's insanity.
Like solo mission, John Wick looking. Like, what do you do?
But just to go a little bit deeper into that last round, yeah, we have like an aggressive fight happening right now. So maybe I'll get to that in a moment.
Hold that thought.
Yeah, let me hold that thought.
Forced into it. Havoc does have a rifle. Finds value with it. MW with nowhere to go. Has to dash out. A Bucky in hand. 85 HP. And another reposition. I mean, EG are still knocking on the door of this thing. The flash is out. Trying to find cover behind Mound. That's great from Havoc.
Oh my gosh.
4 found.
Maybe 5?
Ooh! With the 1 tap. Eye by power ace for Furia as they get their 4th round.
Havoc is the spark that Furia were looking for.
And they need it. They desperately need it. Very quickly, follow at iBuyPower on socials. They'll be giving away a free PC every single time an iBuyPower ace takes place. Shout out to the homie Havoc for giving somebody out there a brand new PC. Very nicely done. And again, reasons to smile.
So that is what we should have been seeing on the round where you have gun advantage. But he just wants to make it hard on himself and do it against a team with full utility and 5 guns. I guess he just deals better under pressure.
It's more fun though.
Like that, yeah, I guess. But just to go back to what I wanted to get to about how Furia got ecoed during this EG timeout, and this timeout is again probably just to slow things down for them, understand that they have 11-4 lead, blah, 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 right?
Yeah.
But to break down that eco round loss for Furia, this is where the KO just falls off. They knifed Jawgemo A early on. It allowed them to take the A space. He goes all the way back to C because they're able to lean there because they know it only tagged 1 person. Then he tags multiple. And when it tags multiple, your initial reaction on the defensive side when you tag multiple players is, okay, they're probably going to go back now because now we have the info. Now, EG staying there at that C mound area, they just let the time cook. All of a sudden, you see MW0 rotating off the C site, and now it's a, 5v2 hit, much like Bind, and we're in bad spots. Not being able to play off of each other, you're playing against a breach in a close angle, Fade at a close angle. Jawgemo's not going to make a mistake and not clear a corner.
Yes.
As I say that, he probably will do that in this round, but, you know, so is life.
They want to go fast here. I think he didn't even have a chance to clear the corner. He's able to respond back and punish MW. Oh, no. I think he can't see a damn thing, though. Ray Charles looking nowhere to go. 2 guns still in the hands of EG, though.
Player standing.
Havoc is left alone. Havoc, who was the hero in the previous round. And Ace now left in a 1v2. And he's got the right site.
Face your fear!
Nightfall, not going to tag. 1v2 on the other side first. Both spotted. The first one dealt with, though. Now the cage should provide some cover. A reposition for the Sentinel. Nature managed to get the spike. Still has a minute left on the clock. There's plenty of time to think this one through.
Wow, my eyes are down.
Tap, the tag. Cam cleared.
Still trips on Ace side. He will be able to break them and should get the bomb planted in time.
Very quickly have to note here as that first trip gets tagged. Nature has no armor. So it won't take much from Havoc for him to win out this 1v1. You mentioned he was the spark in the previous round. Is this enough to become a fully fledged flame? So Spike ticks away. Havoc has to make a play. Choosing to bide his time, not rush it, not force it. Slowly, meticulously, methodically clearing every single corner except the most deadly one. EG gets to 12.
Yeah, the trades for EG.
Match point.
That's been the name of the game all series long. Their spacing was so tight. This push, this aggressive push from Furia, it looked like it was going to be devastating, especially on this fight. But then overstaying their welcome, NZR exposing way too much of his body on top of that mound. Brings it down to a 1v1 with Nature, who, I mean, he could have been anywhere at that moment. Havoc, he's trying his best. Just not enough. The KO not really getting the value that I think Furia imagined it would be getting.
I would have to agree. And so EG looked to put the finishing touches on this stomp. 1 round away now. MW with the ult popped. Derek, I thought he was dead.
He should have been dead.
Yeah, he should have died. Unfortunately, MW eased his last haul. And now Jawgemo trying to do a bit of the same. Finding success where MW could not. almost getting the second, hunts him down, punishes him. Havoc getting a couple of own kills, but
he's going for it.
I mean, Khalil in a 1v3 with the Spectre in hand, you're right. Let Jawgemo off the leash, if he was ever on a leash, to be honest. Got the last kill.
Whoa.
A little early on the trigger. Khalil in a 1vx situation, forced to
cover going out.
Pull off some magic to keep this map alive. He's got a paranoia. No smokes, though. And as the last one, or as the next one dissipates, now decides to go. Really nice setup for the position here from EG's. Very nice, but Nature will get caught. And now, Khalil has no idea where Superman is. Look at where he's playing this man.
Ah, free kill.
The freest! 13-4, the way of evil geniuses. It was close for the first 2 rounds of the series, and it wasn't at any point beyond that. What a stomp.
Yeah, a phenomenal showing for evil geniuses. They look like a force to be reckoned with. Jawgemo again, 8 first bloods. I feel like this is history repeating itself once again. They did it to Loud. They did it even better against Furia. And my gosh, Doug, they look so darn good.
Yeah. Dominant from beginning to end. And, you know, when we see stomps like this, it's often because every single facet of the game goes well, right? It's not just that they macroed well, or wasn't it just that they were winning their clutch moments. For Evil Geniuses here, the performance they put on was as textbook as it gets.
Yeah. I mean, good post plants, great retakes, great use of utility throughout the game, falling on point. Players played with confidence on the stage from start to finish.
This was such a complete performance from Evil Geniuses.
Even the timeout decisions from Potter to not let any type of comeback.
Yeah.
Like, to not allow Fury to come back. Yep. Yeah, 9, even this map, right? Doing the timeout in the second half. I mean, just, yeah, from start to finish, clinical, beautiful gameplay.
And plenty of things to build off of here. Again, it's stage 2. Every single match matters. And it is, as Potter mentioned on that little interview, it's an any team can do it. Any given Sunday type beat. So you've got to bring your best every single time you're out on the stage, especially when you're heading into Super Week. I mean, this is where teams are going to start to create some distance between one another.
Yep. Yeah, you can really cement a gap for yourself ahead of these other teams. You're 100% right.
This week is where seasons will either be born or they will die. And for Evil Geniuses, this is such an excellent start.
Taking out Loud, now taking out Furia, who let's not forget, Furia took out 100 Thieves. I mean, but the way that EG just smacked around Furia, you wouldn't believe that.
Yeah, you wouldn't believe it at all. Everything going their way. They had fun doing it. It never really seemed like there was concern. They played their game the way they wanted to play it and kept Furia on their back foot every step of the way. It just doesn't really get any better. There are only so many ways to
glaze up, Jaw.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna say it, but yeah, I mean, pretty much. I think again though, there's a lot to look forward to for Evil Geniuses, and I don't want to draw parallels to last year, but there are a lot of pieces that are starting to come together, and I think for EG to be hitting their stride now is as good as it gets.
I mean, you have to. You have to hit your stride now or never. That's it. I mean, this is the end of the season. We're going into champs after this.
It's now or never. Let's send it down to Elizabeth down on the stage for the Verizon post-match interview with the GOAT himself, Jawgemo. Take it away.
Thank you so much, gentlemen. You knew I had to talk to Jaw after that performance. I mean, what a performance today, Jaw. Absolutely incredible from you. I mean, we saw it last week, but today was just insane, different. And you said you haven't drank caffeine for 3 days. You're kind of all over the place. So how do you feel right now?
I'm a little jittery, you know, but I know my team got me, so it's fine.
Yeah, I mean, I interviewed Kyle Screwface during the half, and he just said, like, he just saw the EG that he played with last year, you know, coming together, you know, the Potter method. You played on both iterations of EG. Yeah. Can you corroborate that and, like, say, like, yeah, like, I do see a lot of the previous EG in this team, even with different players?
Yeah, especially this year, like, it's a brand new team. Everybody's basically brand new on the team, so seeing Coach, like, bringing her ideas and how she teaches the game, you know, it does benefit all of us, and I think that she does a great job at it, and you can see it from all the boys. Like, they're firing all cylinders now, so yeah.
Well, everyone's in fantastic shape. Potter said in a video package during the first map that, you know, Americas is very competitive and that you know, the EG story of last year, she would love to repeat it, but you have to go match by match.
Yep.
How do you feel about repeating the EG story? Do you think it's going to happen, or are you in the similar boat of it has to go match by match?
It has to go match by match. We gotta grind it out until we, you know, make it to the top again. That's it.
Why not believe?
I mean, belief is one thing, but knowing that you're improving game by game is, I think, more beneficial for me and probably my other teammates as well. And yeah, I think that's just how I think right now, and I think that's what I endured into the rest of them as well.
Well, speaking of you and your form and how you feel, obviously we're talking about it. The Neon was absolutely incredible. Do you think this is the best personal form you have been in your career?
Yeah, definitely. I think like last year was like the start of it, and like I saw the spark to myself towards the end of champs, and then now I'm seeing it like day by day, match by match, and yeah, I think it's getting there for sure.
Do you think you are the best Neon in the world?
I don't know about that. Like, hey, I don't know about that yet.
Okay, Americas?
Nah.
All right. Completely fair. For you, is the Neon a must pick now, or is it kind of, it just fits? Because we picked the Raze before on Bind.
Yeah.
Is the Neon the must pick now because of her buffs, or would maybe if the buff hadn't happened, we would see you on the Neon, you know, in stage 2?
I think it depends map dependent and how the person is feeling that day as well. Like, you could probably slot in the Raze for most of the maps that I play Neon, but I just like to play Neon sometimes when I'm feeling it, so yeah.
And you're feeling it because you're absolutely fantastic. Thank you so much, Jawgemo. Give it for Jawgemo, everyone. A fantastic performance. We're going to take a little bit of a break, but stay right there because we have Sentinels versus Crew coming up.
Line's been drawn. They're picked to pieces.
Cloud9 are so good.